What's up, world changers? Welcome to the Mission Driven Impact YouTube channel, where we help nonprofits and social entrepreneurs raise awareness for their organization by clarifying their message, getting the word out, and building a loyal community of fans and supporters. Today, I'm going to be sharing with you 5 steps to getting started with email marketing for nonprofits and social enterprises. Now, an email list is one of the most powerful assets that you can have. People have literally already given you permission for you to reach out to them, for you to talk to them. They've literally raised their hand and said, I want to hear more from your business. It is so much easier to form real relationships, build a loyal community, and yes, unapologetically sell your offer and ask for a donation when you have an engaged email list. I think the most important thing is that you own it. If you're building your audience on a platform like Facebook, Instagram, even YouTube, you are building your house, so to speak, on rented land. Platforms change, algorithms change, but with an email list, you own that and no one can take that away from you. So before we dive in, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel so that you don't miss out on content specifically made to help you grow your business in the social sector. Now, MailChimp is great if you are adamant about staying at the most minimal budget possible, aka MailChimp has a free plan up to 2,000 subscribers. It's a very powerful tool. You can do everything you need to as a beginner on MailChimp and even beyond that level. And again, it's free up to 2,000 subscribers. The catch is that once you get to a certain level of being advanced, you are gonna probably wanna switch. And that's why I recommend, if you can spend even 30 bucks a month, I recommend starting off on the right foot with ConvertKit. ConvertKit has everything you need as a beginner and way beyond. I mean, you will probably never have to switch from ConvertKit. Maybe if you had like 1 million email subscribers and you had engineers working on your email platform and things like that, but for the vast majority of us, ConvertKit has everything that you are ever going to need. And so I really recommend getting started on the right foot. The features I love the most in ConvertKit are segmentation and automation. Now, it's okay if you don't know what these are or you don't want to use them right away, but I promise you that not too far into the future, you're really going to want to start looking into this stuff. So it's just easier to start with ConvertKit. And ConvertKit makes it stupid easy to separate your audience based on individual donors, maybe grantors, people in foundations, people who have been through your program, maybe people that you know through your online content that are interested in one specific offer or one specific topic that you address. And so segmentation is just a way to really send targeted messages to these people. And it can be a bit clunky in MailChimp, but in ConvertKit it is a breeze. With automation, this is really important when you want to create a system that works for you in the background. It's hands off. You don't have to do anything other than the work up front, and you know that these little robots are working for you to deliver the right messages to the right people at the right time. Now, MailChimp does have automation features, but in ConvertKit, it is a whole new level, both of power, like features. I don't want to say complexity because that sounds scary, but also a new level of simplicity. There's a visual automation editor. And let me say here that the customer service and the technical support that you get from ConvertKit is second to none. With video resources, with real people you can talk to, with online forums and an online community, they will literally hold your hand and walk you through, like, if you don't even know what an email is, all the way until your list has hundreds of thousands of subscribers. And I think for that reason alone, if you're someone like me, you're not really a tech person and you might need a little bit more hand holding, then ConvertKit is the way to go. Tip number 2 is to offer a valuable and actually valuable resource for free. And I know this is going to be a painful realization for a lot of you, but no one wants to sign up for your newsletter or stay up to date with what's happening in your organization. People's inboxes are flooded. People are bombarded with all sorts of new information every day, and they always want to know what's in it for me, right? What benefit are they going to get from giving you their email address and allowing another person to populate their inbox? So in marketing, we call this a lead magnet, and it is just something that solves an immediate problem or immediate pain point that your target audience is facing, and that they would give money for. Instead, all they have to do is give you their email address. They shouldn't have to think twice about it. These work really well as PDF guides or cheat sheets or workbooks, and you can create these for free in like 10 minutes on Canva. So it doesn't have to be anything difficult. I've even seen people that link to a Google Doc and they just say, make a copy of this Google Doc for yourself. Is it scrappy? Yes. Does it work? Yes. To help you out, here's a few examples. So maybe if I'm a community nonprofit, I will have a PDF guide to 5 easy ways that you can get involved and give back to your community. Another thing is maybe if I am a nonprofit or a social enterprise focused on food waste, maybe I will have some sort of checklist or cheat sheet or guide, maybe even a small ebook about different ways that you can reduce food waste in your home or maybe at a school that you work at, things like that. If your organization deals with diversity, equity, inclusion, you could have a workbook with questions and a field for answers that people can fill out right in this document. Maybe they can print it out, maybe they can do it digitally. That will help them assess and overcome challenges of racism in the workplace. So what kind of free resource would give value to your target audience? Let me know in the comments and I'm happy to reply with some feedback. Step number 3 is to have a welcome email that is automatically sent to them right when they give you their email address. Now you can do this for free in MailChimp, you can do this super easily in ConvertKit. When you get more advanced, you can turn this into an autoresponder, which is just like an automated welcome series. But if you're just starting out, it's important to keep things simple, keep it to one welcome email. An effective welcome email has 3 things in this order. It's going to be the problem that you solve, right? Not just for the world, but for them. Why should they care about the impact that you're making in the world? What are they going to get by engaging with your business? And one thing I'll say here is don't make the mistake of thinking that just because someone gave you their email address, that they're familiar with what you do. They could have just seen you mentioned in a magazine or a blog post or something 60 seconds ago, landed on your website, thought that the lead magnet looked cool, gave you their email address, but they don't really know what you do. So that's why first you gotta take them, I always say, take them from cold to warm to hot. When they're cold, you gotta introduce them to what you do and what's in it for them. The second thing is gonna be a quick look at what they can expect by staying on your email list. So how often do you send emails? What kind of content might they find? You wanna really give them some clarity around what they can expect, as well as what they can look forward to. You want them to look forward to getting your emails, just like you look forward to a letter from a friend. You want them to look forward to that, looking forward to opening it. And the third thing is going to be a real simple call to action. Now this is really something you should be including in all your stuff, and it doesn't have to be a call to action to give you a call or send a donation or whatever. It could be, but when people first join your email list, that's when they're the most engaged. And I think that a really tactful way to kind of kick off a relationship, again, we're building a relationship here, is to say hit reply and introduce yourself, or hit reply and answer a question. Or you could even say, check us out on our Instagram or our Facebook. Check out these, the top articles on our blog or something like that. And it's just a real quick way while people are engaged to get them interacting with you a little bit more right off the bat. Step number 4, and this is crucial, is developing weekly touch points. I recommend emailing your list at least once a week. You think about people like Seth Godin. Seth Godin emails people every single day, and people love it. So don't worry about, emailing too much is kind of a common concern I have. Don't even worry about it. From a marketing perspective, staying top of mind is critical. When people are thinking about who they should give a donation to, or maybe where they should volunteer, or if they're experiencing a problem and you have a product or service that solves it, you want them to think about you first. But if we take off the marketing hat for a second, I always say that again, remember that we're building relationships here. And if you want a relationship to work, you need to keep in touch. I always say, just do not be the friend who only comes knocking when they need something, right? For a genuine relationship, it's a two-way street. You gotta stay in touch, you gotta provide value. So what should you email every week? Doesn't gotta be complicated. We call these nurture emails, and they're just something that your audience would find valuable, engaging, insightful, entertaining. This is a great way to share content from other places around the web, other things you think are valuable, maybe sharing content from partner organizations. You always got to think, what would get someone to open this email and say, oh, I'm glad I opened that email today. It doesn't got to be anything heavy. It's not selling your product or your offer or anything like that. You just want people to open an email and say like, oh, that brought a smile to my face today, or that helped me solve a problem I was facing today, or it was really insightful. It really got me thinking about something important. I'm glad I read that. One of the best ways to stay consistent is to use an editorial calendar, just like you might use for a blog post or your social media posts. In fact, you can actually wrap all these into one calendar. You can use a spreadsheet, you can use little boards on Trello, you can write this in a notebook, doesn't matter. But this really helps to prevent the staring at a blank page, the cursor blinking at you, and you're like, what do I say? And again, it doesn't have to be a big deal, but if you just know what you're going to say in advance, or even a theme that you're going to cover, maybe address a current issue, a current news story, or some sort of holiday, current event, it's just great to plan these things in advance. You can bang out an email in 5 minutes and you've accomplished your weekly touch point. Step number 5 is to make the ask. Now, even if you're not doing this right away, I always think it's good to have something either pre-written or at least like ideated, just something to have in your back pocket for when you need it. And so I recommend a 5-day sequence, and I love this. I just call it a 5-day sequence, but you can shorten it to 3 days. You can extend it to 7 days. You can drip it out every day. You can do every other day. I mean, this, while it's called a 5-day sequence, or I call it that at least, it's something that is really flexible, really malleable, and really just adaptable to your audience, to your needs, and whatever the current situation is in your business. So let's stick with a 5-day example and say that we want to sell something and ask for a donation. We want to sell a product or a service. We want people to sign up for our program. We're making a big volunteer recruitment push, and we're going to send out 5 emails Monday through Friday. Now, these first 2 emails are going to be completely value driven. We're not doing any selling. We're not pushing the offer. We've got a whole week to do that. So Monday and Tuesday, if this is a Monday through Friday sequence, is only going to serve the purpose of, thinking, what is my audience kind of struggling with right now? What do they want the most right now? Again, this will change depending on if you're targeting donors, if you're targeting, grantors, or people that you want to maybe buy a product or subscribe to a service. You know what I'm trying to say here. Your messaging will change depending on who you're targeting. But whatever it is, on those first 2 days of a 5-day sequence, maybe the first day of a 3-day sequence, you want to be focused on just relentlessly providing as much value as you possibly can. Introduce a problem, and then really dig into solving it. And people should walk away from your emails thinking, wow, that was incredible that I just got this in an email for free. The middle of the sequence, so the 3rd day in a 5-day sequence or the 2nd day in a 3-day sequence, is going to be a hybrid or kind of a transition email. And this is where you're going to tie the problem you've been talking about, and maybe even some solutions that you've been tossing around, and you're going to tie your offer into it. Again, whether it's a product or a service, whether it's an appeal for a donation, anything. The key here is really tying what you were talking about the first 2 days into how it relates to your product, and how that product, and I don't just mean product, how your offer, whatever that offer is, whatever you're asking for, you want to tie that into how that's going to benefit people once they take the action to get it. Then the last 2 emails in this 5-day series, or the last email in a 3-day series, is going to be a sell, an all-out sell. And when it's time to sell, we're going to do so unapologetically. We're not hiding anything. Again, I always say, I kind of sound like a broken record sometimes, but if you believe that your organization is making the world a better place, or if you have a product or a service that you believe is truly changing people's lives, then it is your obligation to get it in front of people and to make sure they have all the information necessary they need to make a decision. Again, we're not twisting any arms here. We're not forcing people into a decision, but we are saying, hey, listen, we really think that this is going to improve your life, and here's all the reasons for that. And we're not apologetic about it. So many nonprofits, so many people in the social sector, we feel a little weird selling or asking for things. don't. This is where the social sector is going in the rest of the 21st century. I think is just, if you have something to say, if you have something to give, but you need someone to take an action, like giving you money or giving you a call before that happens, then you need to be unapologetic about asking for it. All right, I'm gonna stop ranting now. I know that was a lot that we covered in this video. Let me know if this makes sense. Let me know in the comments here, or I want you to follow me on LinkedIn. If you are a nonprofit marketer, if you are a nonprofit executive director, if you're a social entrepreneur, connect with me on LinkedIn. You can message me there. I'm always just a message away, and I'm super happy to help. I publish all sorts of quick tips and mindset shifts and just so much other stuff over on LinkedIn that I know will serve you and will help you grow your business in the social sector. I'll leave a link down in the description below. Until then, subscribe to this video. Make sure you don't miss out on any of the stuff I post here on YouTube, and I will see you on the flip side.